Thank you, Ujwala. Are we ready to start?
Yes, KTG.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ujwala. Friends and colleagues, Bhaiyo Behno, welcome to the 86th webinar in the webinar series, Rethinking City, that INHAF has been doing for the last 2 years. This one is in partnership with Annapurna Pariwar. And today we are talking about microfinance model. An idea, and I think they are talking about how do the poor people move from no asset situation to creating asset for themselves. And that's a big thing. You remove poverty either by educating yourself, you're creating assets. And this is a very important way of dealing with poverty. And we're going to hear more about it today. Let me first thank Dr. Medha Samant and her colleague and friend, Dr. Joy Deshmukh Ranadive, for not only agreeing to organize this webinars with us on the work of Annapurna Pariwar, but also doing 3 of them. And I want to make that announcement upfront so that they don't escape also. So today is the first one on 24th, and we're talking about microfinance. The second one is taking place on 27th June, almost a month and 3 days after this one. And that will be also on micro insurance. And the third one takes place on 28th July, almost, which is for the people with whom they are working. So we essentially are ready, and I'm very grateful to Annapurna Pariwar that we are doing this 3 webinar, because that is the one which will tell us the full story in terms of how Annapurna Pariwar is working and how important work is doing. I must also mention that what is most heartening and what gives me immense pleasure to mention is this, that Annapurna Pariwar has taken total ownership of this webinar. And the 2 dry run that they've run, a kind of preparation that has gone on, kind of videos they have made, makes them a very, very special group. It's one of the best partners we have had in the last 2 years, in terms of ownership of the whole thing. They've taken it very seriously. They're saying this is a very important communication medium. We are going to tell our story as well as we could. And therefore, they have invested in preparation. To me, and this is what I wrote to Dr. Medha a long time back, saying that this is being entrepreneurial. That is taking your work very seriously, working very hard, engaging deeply, and seeing that the product that comes out is very good. And therefore, thank you very much, Medhaji. Thank you, all your colleagues. And I'm grateful to you for not only agreeing, but to know this effort that you put in doing this. Now, having done that, let me briefly tell you and others, what is this webinar business? Why we are doing it for last 2 years? Why this is 86th webinar? Let me tell you this, that this is 86th webinar, but we have committed ourselves to doing 150 webinars. Another 70, 80 will happen in the next year and a half. During this 86 webinars we have done, this is on one single subject, and that is rethinking our cities. It's rethinking cities across the board, but rethinking Indian cities in particular. And the reason we are talking about rethinking cities is this, that we know that our cities are not in the best of health, that our cities are not on track, or our understanding of the challenge of urbanization, our understanding of challenge of the city's management is not on track. We are not doing as well as we should do. And look around anywhere. Look at environment, look at governance, look at urban finance, look at water, look at river, look at just about anything, preparation for climate change. We are not necessarily ready. And this readiness is very essential in the context of what is happening to our cities. Not many people know that the way we are growing, we already become, I think, the number one population country, I think, in the world, beating China. But so far the urbanization is concerned, we are likely to reach something like 876 million people by 2050. We are talking about doubling the urban population of India in the next 30 years. And the question that we are asking is, are we ready for that? And if we are not ready, absorbing those people, providing them services, building housing, creating infrastructure, giving them jobs, employment, dealing with poverty, all those issues that are there, looks that we have a major challenge on our hands. And we believe very strongly that meeting this challenge requires much more than what we're doing now. It's not only the job of the government to kind of deal with the urban challenge. It's not the job alone of the professionals and academics. We essentially require a societal effort in order to deal with this massive challenge. And the reason we require societal effort is going to require enormous amount of innovation. It's going to require new ideas. It's going to require new perspectives. It's going to require thinking it afresh and differently. Habitat 2 said that if you really want to kind of do justice to urban issues we are facing, you require revolution in urban problem solving framework. So it's saying nothing less than revolution in our thinking in terms of how do we handle urban challenge is going to work. And therefore, if you're talking about revolution urban challenge, you require working partnership, you require partnership with government, you require partnership with civil society, academic community. And this particular effort that we are making for last 2 years, we are trying to create a platform to bring all these people together, to create and generate ideas, to share ideas, and try and build up what I call societal partnership to deal with the whole issue. Now, it is in that context that we requested Annapurna to come in and help. Up till now, for the last 2 years, we've been essentially talking bigger issues, the macro issues, general perspectives, governance, water, mobility, environment. Now we reach a stage we are talking about specifics. And we essentially are starting our specific work Annapurna. You are dealing with the urban poor. You're dealing with 2 cities. You're dealing with urban poor in Pune and Bombay. But you are doing in such a way that you're doing innovations. You're doing showing a way of how to do it. And therefore, idea content is very important. Therefore, how you do it is very important. How it is working, it is very important. And therefore, when I met Medhaji, I requested, please come in and tell whoever wants to hear in terms of how do you deal with poor, poverty, informal sector, entrepreneurship, their service need, and of course, reaching out their money in a viable, workable, affordable way. And I know that you're going to talk about this at some point of time, but you're doing immensely interesting work. I have a presentation in Surat day after tomorrow on sustainable urbanization, and I was trying to look at the figures that the cumulative sort of NPA of our nationalized and private banks in the last years have been of the order of 10 lakh crore rupees. And you're working with almost zero NPA. It shows the whole story. And we want to kind of hear the story in terms of how it works. And therefore, we have invited you. And I'm very glad that you're here telling us the story. Now, before I hand this over to Dr. Joy Deshmukh Ranadive, let me briefly introduce to our listeners Annapurna Pariwar. Dr. Medha Purao Samant is the one who initiated this organization. She left her job in Bank of India in 1993. She started casually at a very personal level from her own pocket, started giving loan without collateral, and having found response to be very responsible, it has grown. It started with 9 vegetable vendors, and it's now 125,000 women. It was something like 9,000 rupees that she gave. Now it's 135 crore that has gone to people. It started in a very small room, I understand, under the staircase, 8 by 8 room. I went there 2 months ago. It's a very impressive 12-story building in Pune. And they have grown immensely. And this growth is not only about having a 12-story office building. Growth is reaching out to the poor, giving money in a manner in a responsible manner, building confidence of the community, give them the strength to do their business as well, and all that big story. And therefore, I thought we will hear the story, and I'll also tell you that Annapurna Pariwar is operating in 650 slums in Pune and 1,200 slums in Mumbai. And they have a large number of branches to work with people. So with this long introduction, both to know of the webinar series and how and why we requested Annapurna Pariwar to come in, I hand it over to Dr. Joy Deshmukh Ranadive to conduct this webinar for as long as you want to. We have no problem. Please. Thank you very much. You're muted. You're muted.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I said thank you, Kirtibhai. It's really a pleasure and a privilege for me, not only to be the anchor for Annapurna to tell their story, Annapurna Pariwar, but also to be part of what INHAF is doing. And the very fact that you are throwing light on how urban spaces are being used and how they are being developed or what is happening to them. And Annapurna Pariwar I think, is a very perfect choice that you made to partner with, because what Annapurna Pariwar has done is they have changed the socio-economic landscape of where they're working. Like you said that they work in slums in Bombay and in Mumbai, in slums in Pune, but they have over time actually changed that socio-economic landscape of where they are. Just to illustrate, we will be showing a video, Rucha, This will give you a very slight idea, give our viewers on what we are going to talk about next.
तुम्ही 1994 ला मेधाताईंकडून पहिले कर्ज घेतले ना, म्हणजे अंदाजे 30 वर्षापासून तुम्ही अन्नपूर्णा परिवाराशी जोडलेले आहात.
हो, 30 वर्षापासून अन्नपूर्णाशी जोडलेली आहे मी. मेघाताईंच्या हातून 1,000चं कर्ज घेतले.
तेव्हापासून किती वेळा कर्ज घेतली आणि त्यातून तुम्ही काय काय केले?
मी 13 वेळा कर्ज घेतले. 3,40,000चं कर्ज सुरू आहे. अन्नपूर्णाचा कर्जातून हाराचा व्यवसाय सुरू केला. आता मी तो खूप मोठा वाढलाय.
जे पहिले कर्ज 1,000चे होते बरोबर ना?
हो,
आणि आता 3,40,000च्या कर्जाचा हप्ता तुम्ही दरमहा 36,000चा भरता आहात, हो ना?
हो.
मग हे कसं परवडतं?
हाराचा एवढा व्यवसाय वाढलाय, त्यातनं 50-60 हजार रुपये उत्पन्न होतंय. म्हणून मला मोठा हप्ता परवडतं. कर्ज फेडून मला मोठं कर्ज घ्यायचं आहे ना घरासाठी.
तुमचे पती हयात नसताना एकटीने 2 मुली वाढवल्या, त्यात अन्नपूर्णाची कशी मदत झाली?
अन्नपूर्णाने साथ दिली एवढी. अन्नपूर्णाकडनं मुलींसाठी शिक्षणासाठी मदत मिळाली. आजारपणात मला मदत मिळाली.
आधारपूर्णाचा हप्ता भरता का?
हो, भरते ना. 2016 पासनं आधारपूर्णाचे पैसे भरते. जवळजवळ 6 वर्ष पैसे भरत आहे.
तर स्वतःचे व्हावे असे वाटते का?
हो ना, वाटते ना. हे कर्ज फेडून पुढचं कर्ज मी घरासाठीच घेणार आहे.
Thank you, Rucha, for that video. I have not yet said who I am. I'm the anchor. And as Deepti said, I'm Joy Deshmukh Ranadive. I have worked in the microfinance sector as the director of the Indian School of Microfinance for Women in Ahmedabad. I, in fact, retired as the global head of CSR from TCS. So I am from the development sector, worked in different domains within the sector. And I think probably that's why I qualified, and that's why Medha asked me whether I would anchor this set of webinars. Thank you for that, Medha. It makes me really happy. So what we just saw on that film was is a member, and I may point out that Annapurna Pariwar calls women who are connected to them as members. Please note, they're not called beneficiaries, they're not called clients, because they are part of the whole family. And as we go along, you will see how they, in fact, how they become part of Annapurna. It is not lip service, it is not just, a play of words. What we saw in that was a woman who began with a 1,000 rupee loan and then went on to today she can pay an installment of that amount. Yes, 36,000. And when asked how she can pay it, she says, because my income is that large. My income is enough to pay it, and plus I have something left over. So that is what is seen in this example, which is impact through empowerment. And when I say empowerment, it's very simple. The ability to build a future in the mind of a person, to be able to see that this is where I can get to. If I take these steps today, I have a future, I have something to look forward to. Anybody who's disempowered, actually, the future is knocked out from that person's mind. They don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, what is going to happen after a month, and what is going to happen after a year. But if you are able to give them a future, that is empowerment. And that is what Annapurna Pariwar has done. And through our talk today, with different office bearers, with Medha Tai herself, Medha is called Medha Tai in a very, very affectionate way. Her full name is Dr. Medha Purao Samant, but I will be referring to her as Medha Tai. So I will be moving between our speakers today. We have the CEO of Annapurna Pariwar, Mrs. Ujwala Waghole. Ujwala Tai, yeah. We also have Advocate Aarti Shinde, who is the COO, looking after operations. We have Medha Madhekar, who is a software consultant. We have Aditi Limaye, who is a senior manager at Annapurna Pariwar, also software. And we have KC Ranjani, who is the chairperson of Annapurna Mahila Cooperative Credit Society. Now, these speakers, in their own way, are going to take you through the journey. And I would really request you to stay till the end, because absolute gems of learning are going to come out of this. You will see how Annapurna Pariwar is different from other microfinance institutions. What is so peculiar, what is so special that makes them who they are, and that allows for that impact to empowerment. So I will first move to Medha Tai. Medha Tai, like Kirti Bhai also said, I mean, you are the founder of Annapurna Pariwar. You are the CMD chief functionary. You're also the secretary of the Annapurna Pariwar. You left a job in the bank in 1993 and literally just took off. I mean, you took off into the unknown. What is it that drew your attention to a group of women who you found being exploited by moneylenders? Why did your heart go out to them? What made you start this whole thing by actually giving money from your own pocket? What did you get out of it? And how did this whole thing work out?
Yeah. Good evening to all viewers. Thanks, Kirti Bhai, for the introduction and Joy for doing this. Let me tell you that working in Bank of India for 12 long years, I every day saw that the banks are not reaching out to the poor. I mean, the banks never gave loans to any poor women, because the poor women, for example, the vegetable vendors, we see at least in 10 different, roles or professions, we see the poor people around us. One is the lady who works in our homes. We meaning all the middle class, upper middle class people. We stay in good societies. We see our housemaid, we see our cook, we see the society cleaning lady, we see our security guard, we see our driver, we see our rickshawala, we see our dhobi, our dry cleaner, and so on and so forth. At least 10 Mari gardener, they all come from slums. They have, most of them have no asset in their name, because in slums there is no ownership of land. And being a banker, I was seeing that the banks are not giving loans to poor people because they have no asset, no collateral to offer. So I had some background. My father was a banker and a bank trade union leader. Comrade Dada Purao, very well-known person, even after 42 years of his demise, he is remembered fondly. My mother, Padmashri Prematai Purao, had under his guidance done a bank linkage program in Mumbai, which was small. They deviated into mess workers, working with the mess workers. But I have seen that the banks have schemes. Banks have schemes to reach out to the poor. They can give collateral-free, low-interest loans, but the banks were not doing that. So I'm originally born and brought up in Mumbai, but shifted to Pune due to my husband's profession. And I could see from my bank to home, on my way, I used to buy vegetables from a particular market, Ulfata vegetable market. And I could see that those women from whom I was buying my vegetables, they were borrowing from private money lenders. They did not share the truth with me initially, but I became their favorite customer because I did not bargain the prices, because I feel that the branded things we don't do any bargaining. So just because the poor people sitting on the road selling something, they have no bargaining power with bargains. That's my principle. So I never bargain. That's how I became their favorite customer. So slowly after a year or two of good rapport building, those vegetable vendors, Shivantabai, Lakshmibai, they became my friends. And they told me that they are borrowing from the private money lender. And then I asked them, why are you borrowing? For what purpose you need this money? So I understood in banking terms that they needed working capital loans. They used to buy stocks of potatoes and onions. It used to cost 1,000 rupees for each gunny bag in 90s. And they had no money because the money that they earned was spent every day on, their food and basic needs. So they were borrowing from the money lender. Then a year went in between. I was trying to convince my colleagues in the bank to give loans to these women under our differential rate of interest scheme. And on the other hand, I was trying to convince Shivantabai, Lakshmibai to borrow from banks. And both were not comfortable with each other. The bank people said, no, 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 no. These ladies will not repay to private money lender. Because I was trying to convince they repay to the private money lender. Why won't they repay us? The bank colleagues said, no, they repay to them because they are scared of them. They will not repay our money. And these women on the other hand, Shivantabai, Lakshmibai and others like them in the market, they said, Tai, we don't have the document. We won't have a person, a guarantor who will sign and who has a salary slip. And we don't have anything to offer. And above all, the banks will lock up our houses if we miss one installment. The Anna, the private money lender, comes to our thela, our gadi every day and he collects money. So that's comfortable. But I knew that they were paying huge exorbitant rate of interest because I asked them how much they are borrowing. They said 1,000 rupees. Then they said 50 rupees are cut on day one. So they get in hand 950 rupees. I asked them how long do they repay the loan. They said 50 days. They had to count like that. Then how much every day? 25 rupees. So that makes 950 rupees repaid in 50 days and amount is 1,250. So 300 rupees interest just for 50 days. So that was huge. And I thought that we should do something about that. So after a year or two trying to negotiate with the vegetable vendors and my bank colleagues, I said, okay, chalo, let's do one thing. I will give you 1,000 rupees each. You make a group of 10 rupees. It was the year 91, 92. And I knew about NABARD. NABARD was founded in 1982, and NABARD had self-help groups for the rural area. I knew very limited knowledge, but I knew something about NABARD schemes. So I said, okay, collateral-free loans can be given in a group of women. So I said, make a group of 10 and I will give 1,000 rupees each. Let's see. And we started as an experiment. The demand side was loan amount as much as Anna gives, the loan repayment as much as Anna takes, repayment tenure as much as Anna's. So everything was defined on the basis of a private money lender's loan product. But I said, okay, I will not take away all that money from you that he takes. We'll keep that aside. Let's see what to do in future. So the experiment began. I gave them the first loan in my below my staircase in my home. There was an 8x8 room. I somehow decorated with old furniture and I invited the women. Before that, I visited their homes at least 2-3 times each. I answered all their queries and to their spouses, their children. Everyone was anxious. Everyone was anxious because they thought that I will cheat them and take away some money from them because they had experienced such things in the past. So I said, so I convinced everyone that I am really going to give them money. And one lady dropped out after, of course, they made a group of 10, but one lady said, no, no, I'm scared. This lady might cheat us. So there were only 9 women who came with their spouses or children to my 8x8 room. And the first reaction was, this is a bank. I said, yeah, this is the poor people's bank. And then I sat with them on the floor. I explained to them. I took their signs. Everything was very, very basic. And I gave them loan of 1,000 rupees in cash. 50 rupees I kept aside because that was like Anna. And then next 50 days was a very interesting journey with them. I visited them every day because my branch was at Nurstop. You won't know the places, but it's 2 kilometers away from the Paulpata vegetable market. Then another 2 kilometers my home, and I had to pick up my son from his school. I had to wait at the vegetable market. So I used to spend time with them till my son's school gets over. And we used to speak about all the things at home. And they asked me all such questions. One day I saw Shivantabai. I mean, it was not just collecting money, writing the accounts in a small notebook, and then coming home, doing all the cooking. When my son is asleep, I used to write the loan ledger like we do in bank. All that I did for 50 days. But that was not all. I had personal interactions, very close interactions with them. Every alternate day, somebody would be bitten by her husband. And when I asked, one or two of them would say, nothing, I just fell down. And Shevantabai is very naughty. Even today at the age, she's my age, above 60, but she is a very, very jovial person. She used to say, kal thodi jada ho gayi to thodi maar padi. That means her husband was drunk last night, so she was beaten. And in one such chat, she asked me, Sahib, tumhala martat ka? That means, does my husband beat me? So I gave a hearty laugh. I said, Sahibani marla to means marin Sahibani. So means we cannot imagine this kind of things. I mean, I had no exposure to all this. But my exposure increased. I understood their lifestyle. I understood their needs. Most of them wanted to have houses of their own. They wanted to educate their children. So those 50 days was a journey together. And after the 50 days, I said, okay, now all the loans are finished. Let's sit on a gunny bag in the market. On a Saturday afternoon, we had a bank was half day working.
Right.
So we used to sit on the gunny bags on the market, in the same market. So I told them all the accounts I brought. I took the ledger with me. And I said, all of you have finished your loans and you have saved 200 rupees. 50 rupees I had kept aside. Let's say that is the service charge, because I wouldn't call interest at that time. Right? And I said 200 rupees extra that you have paid. And that is saving. They started clapping and laughing, and Shevantabai, very jovial person, jumping. She said, Matai's money is magical. Money is magical. We paid the same thing to Anna, but we never saved a single rupee. Here we could save. The money is magical. So I said two things without understanding what I am saying. I said one thing is that money is not magical. The extra money Anna was taking away because you came together and all of us are a group. This money is saved. So coming together, forming a group is important. And second thing I said, now it's not my money, it's our money. Because I gave you, you repaid, now it has become our money. So we have to protect this money and we have to increase. Okay, having said that, I went home, I slept well, I was happy, first loan is over, experiment is successful. I could tell my bank colleagues. But to my delight, I would say now, but to my horror, I said that time, after a week or so, on a Sunday, 20 women came to my house, must be 20. With these first 9 women, they brought more women. They came to my house because they knew that this advice room Thai stays above. And they said, they knocked on my door. I said, what's the matter? On a Sunday morning, I was cooking and we were planning something. They said, these women want money. We have brought more people. And we want now next loan, bigger loan. Oh my God, I said, I have no money like that. But then this went on another 2-3 days. Again, a group of women came from another area because these 9 women who experienced a nice group formation and loan, successful loan repayment, they told every relative, friend, neighbor, and people started flocking my house. And within few months, I had to decide to leave my bank job and just plunge into this and do it full time. And I think that was the best moment of my life. I think that time I got the purpose of my life and I'm still happy with that moment.
Thank you, Medha. This is so fascinating. I mean, I could actually visualize, that whole thing that you have talked about. So obviously, what you saw was that women repaid. So they were not such a huge risk as, the banks thought they will be. And you saw, but now I want to know is what was the progress after that? I mean, what was the processes that, you finally came to, was it going to be 10 women? How did you come to a kind of a model? I mean, to use, I don't have another word, which works.
Yeah.
How many women together can be brought to run this kind of a thing that you, so then how did you take it forward? Because you said you didn't have the money, then, what did you do next? How did you progress further? Can you please tell us more about that?
Yes. So after a few months after the first successful experiment, I had to quit my bank job, and the women started flocking my place, and I had to give them money. Uh, I I did my first registration after 7 years from that moment in 2000, because I did not know what type of registration should I take. My mother had a small trust, Annapurna Mahila Mandal. So for a few days, I took the same name and practice. But then I understood that unless I have a separate registration, I can't borrow. Then after a few days, I understood that trust registration is not facilitating the borrowing from banks. Then I knew that in the first 3 years, no banks or nobody gives you money. You should have free balance sheets. So the first few years, everything was informal. Only the demand was increasing. Supply was informal. I was doing beg, borrow, steal, of course, from my husband's pocket. I left the bank job, and since I did not complete the full term, I had a housing loan on my head. All my provident fund and everything went into that. But I had a little savings of my own, so I put money from that. And beg, borrow, steal. The supply was very informal. The office was informal. Only demand side was increasing. So then we went on, doing implementation. So that, but loans and members increased somehow. Nobody, I used to personally go for collecting the recovery, the loan disbursement. I was only doing in that 8x8 room. So there was no bad experience as such. So I thought that it is encouraging and we must take it away. But on the group size, especially, Joy, you have asked a very interesting question. Again, mentioning the NABARD model, which they started in 1982, that was to facilitate the banks to give loans to self-help groups. Self-help groups are the groups of rural poor women who are there in the same rural area for generations. They know each other, but they are poor, they have no asset, and on their name, of course, the family would have a home and a land, but a 1 acre land, and there is no woman's name in that. So she has practically no assets. So such poor women from rural areas, they could form groups of 10. Also, they were scared to do something alone. So those 10 women gave us social support and they came together. So NABARD had practiced this model, and the banks had facilitated. If the self-help groups had gathered some savings for 6 months, they kept in a bank account, the bank would give loan to the self-help group. Then within the self-help group, those members who wanted the loan, they could take the loan. There was a chairperson and secretary for that self-help group. This model was practicing from 1982, but that was essentially rural microfinance. And I started in the city of Pune. And there I understood that after the second, third group, I understood that every group was different. Some people said we have only 4 women, 4 acquaintances, because they are migrant people from rural areas. These are essentially landless migrant women. They did not, it's not a cohesive society in the slums. They don't know each other for generations, but few years they are just living in the same area. So they were not ready to take responsibility of 10 people or 20 people. said, I can take responsibility of these 3 people, these 4 people. If you want to give. Otherwise, we are going. So like that, initially I said, okay, 4 people, we made groups of 4. At that time, there was manual ledger, there was no software. So all the experiment was easy for me. I mean, I was only person who is toying with the idea of group. I only knew that collateral-free loans can be given with a group of women who trust each other and they repay. That was the basis of that. So in the first few years, we did group of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
But with all that thing, let me just mention that my initial training is in statistics and actuarial. So math comes to me very easily. So I used to see the analysis. Later on, I did my master's in social work, doctorate in microfinance, did some gender and empowerment in Sussex University. But all that was after the first few initial years.
Right.
But I analyzed the data always, and I tried to read through it during my PhD. I read about Grameen Bank of Bangladesh model.
Yeah.
And I also looked back at our experiment, and I said group size of 5 is the most effective. I mean, all those groups of 5, they sustained, they continued, and they came for the second, third loans successfully. So after that, when we registered our first organization in 2000, that was a trust. Then there was a cooperative registered in the same year. And then 2 years later, we registered a Section 8 company. I mean, that's just, I'm saying, I used to read RBI circulars. As per their recommendations, I registered a trust, a cooperative, and Section 8, whichever is useful, use it for microfinance. But same time, we made a software. A friend, very charging not much, he wrote a software for us that was in Foxflow, first software. People won't even know that. But in that software, we had to put the group size. So then we started the first group size of 5. By that time, we had this experimentation, and we knew 5 is the most successful. And but I just will say 2 more lines. It was, I named it as Common Goals Group. In Marathi, I used to tell the women, Samuddishta Gut. Samuddishta meaning the women who have come together for some common goal, that is Samuddishta. And that is not only loan.
Yeah.
It may be loan, it may be savings, it may be creating other facilities for themselves. I always used to tell them that we are creating facilities together. It's not that I am here, I am giving something, and you are coming with a begging bowl and I am giving something.
Right.
So we created. So I said, we have come together for a common goal. And much later, so this was in before 2000. The group size was fixed before 2000. And after 2005-6, the nationalized commercial banks, they started this model of joint liability group for areas, group of 5 that was recognized by the bank.
Right.
So then we just left behind our Samuddishta Gut.
Yeah.
And we just took this name, JLG. That was good negotiating with the banks for more money.
But the spirit you must have retained, that it is a common goal and not just, transaction of money.
Yeah.
Right. So the shared responsibility, I think, is pretty much, the spine of what that whole group is. Because if one person does not pay, then the others, take the responsibility of that. I mean, as I say, totally fascinating. I will also now want to take the discussion forward to understand how these operations are done. I mean, these figures are huge. So you have, like Kirtibhai also mentioned, 650 slums in Pune, 1200 slums in Mumbai, 22 branches, 22 lady branch managers, 100 loan savings officers, 4 deputy managers, 4 systems auditors, and 35,000 active borrowers. Now, these are huge numbers. So I'll now move to Advocate Aarti Shinde. So Aarti, would you be able to tell us, from when are you working with Annapurna Pariwar? How do you manage all of this? How are these operations done?
Yeah. Hello to all viewers. I am Advocate Aarti Shinde. I am working with Annapurna Pariwar since last 17 years. Our head office is in Pune and our regional office is in Mumbai. We are working in all the 650 slums in Pune, as Kirtibai said, and 50% of slum in Mumbai, that is approximately 1200 slums in Mumbai. We have 12 branch offices in Pune and 10 branch offices in Mumbai. Each branch office is situated in the slum, and each branch office served around 10 to 20 slum pockets nearby. Each branch office has a branch manager who is a lady, mostly promoted mostly promoted from loan and saving officers. We called her LSO. Each branch office has 3 to 5 LSO, loan and saving officers. There is also a service executive who is giving insurance services. But we will be talking about insurance in next webinar. So mainly the branch manager and the loan and saving officers are responsible for disbursement of loan in the slum that they serve. They are also responsible for 100% recovery. The members are all women. We ask them to form a joint liability group. The LSO goes from door to door in her allocated slum pockets. She talked to the members, explained to all of the rules and services of Annapurna Pariwar. Then she asked them to form a joint liability group. Then they call her back. Then the LSO goes again to the same members who have called her, and then she fills up their personal information form. She fills up group responsibility forms too. The group responsibility form says that all 5 members who do not have a collateral security to offer to the bank or don't have a guarantor with a salary slip, that's why they don't get loans from bank.
Yeah.
But the 5 of them from a joint liability group, and they say we will all be repaying, and if one of us cannot repay, the others will support her. We all will repay 100% of the loan. After that, the LSO fills up the loan form, and then the loan file is given to the branch manager, who is then goes to the group. She takes the group recognition test, and then the files goes to head office. In the head office, there is a loan approval committee that they check all the documents and recheck all the data in our in-house software of MFN. Then the file is approved and sent back to branch office for the loan orientation. On the loan orientation day, the branch manager explain all the rules once again to the 5 members and their spouses. Then they sign all loan forms. They take the responsibility of repayment, and they are giving a device like looking like a check, and then loan amount is transferred to their bank accounts.
Right. Right. Yeah, thank you, Aarti, so much. I'd just like to tell the viewers that Annapurna Pariwar has a very short video. It's a non-verbal video, but it kind of illustrates whatever Aarti has said about the processes. So, Rucha, can you just show that quickly? Thank you, Rucha. Aarti, I just want to take forward what you said. You said that when you disperse the loans, it's credited to the members' bank accounts. And this is very interesting. So, are all the members, do they all have accounts, and in which bank? And how did you achieve this? Because normally everybody doesn't have a bank account.
Yeah. Actually, the actually none of our members that had bank accounts till 2016. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
There is some disturbance, Aarti. Let's check it out.
So
No, you're audible. Can the others hear her?
Yes.
there is
You just fix your speaker and continue.
okay. Actually, none of our members had bank accounts till 2016. When Medha started giving the loan 30 years ago, they were very poor. They had only KYC documents except ration card and at the most election card. So from 1993 to 2013, we used to take only ration card, and if they had election card, we used to take Xerox copy of these two. We gave them loans in cash and also collect recovery in cash. From 2013, once the Aadhaar card started to get distributed in India, we help our member to procure Aadhaar card and we update their birth date and correct data in our software from the Aadhaar card.
Yeah.
That's what step one, from which we corrected the data for almost 1 lakhs of members. After that step was demonetization in 2016. During demonetization, we had to struggle because of our member had no bank account. So the whole of the year 2017, we helped our 60,000 members to open bank accounts. We had practically invited various bank staff to our branches. We gather our member in branch office. We collect and submitted the KYC documents like Aadhaar card to the bank people, and that's how we got the majority of the bank accounts open in 2017. After that, we started disbursing loan by crediting the members' bank account. That's how we help them keep their bank accounts active. But our members are not collecting their salaries and incomes in their bank accounts because they are unorganized sector workers. Most of them are street vendors, domestic servants, or they have daily wages. So their salary are getting collected in cash. So we can collect the loan installment in cash through the loan is disbursed to the bank account.
Right. Really very interesting. And you did mention something about 100% recovery rate. And I know that, in the times of COVID, there must have been a lot of hardship. So how did you manage all of that? Did you have to write off some loans? Or, how did you negotiate and, maneuver that whole time period? Because livelihoods were affected.
Yeah. In fact, till demonetization in 2016, we were enjoying 100% recovery. After demonetization, our recovery suffered because members were not getting daily cash income. They had no bank accounts. We had to do some write-off. But as a prudent financial institution, we had done our provisions very well in our good day. So we could write off some loans. We convinced our member, helped them to open bank accounts. In the year 2019, our recovery was 100%. We had crossed almost 70,000 active borrowers. We had a portfolio more than 200 crores. And we had saving more than 100 crores. 2019 was an excellent year from Annapurna Pariwar.
Right.
Then 2020, the COVID came a big killer. None of us knew what to do. We had provided all field staff with proper SIM card just before COVID because Medha took the decision very much in advance. We had Zoom license. We just procured them before 15 March 2020. So we all the senior team daily we could hold Zoom meetings and we could discuss the situation of the members in slum. We were in touch with our members, our loan and saving officers, and also our branch managers. We are calling each day 50 to 70 members, asking them how they were suffering. Members were telling us that we don't have any food. So wherever the members had no food, we try to help them. We try to help them out with transferring some cash amount to their bank account. We transferred 1,000 each of 2,500 members who were very poor. Then we provide some dry fruits grains to most of the members by taking help of our community representative from the same slums. So there was a chain of people. Our loan and saving officers, our service executives, our branch managers, and community representatives who were reaching out to every branch office, calling people from the surrounding, and we were disbursing food grains to them. All of this was done during COVID period.
Yeah.
We gave a moratorium period also to all our members as per the RBI guidelines during the period April 2020 to September 2020. So we did not collect any loan recovery installment during this period. Yet we were giving them our insurance claim. So by all means, we help our member in the first wave of COVID, and then after October 2020, the recovery started pick up by slowly. We were giving a lots of advice and flexibility to our members to repay. We rescheduled most of the loans who were not able to pay in time. Because of this guidance and because of rescheduling of loans, we should help our members slowly to come. We could help our members to slowly to come back for normalcy, to restart their business.
Right.
Today we can say we enjoy more than 95% of recovery. Members were not ready to take further loans for quite some time after COVID. But since last year, members have started to take loans. Also the loan demand has increased.
Right.
Now we can say our operations are almost nearby normal.
Right. Thank you, Aarti. My compliments to Annapurna Pariwar, to Medha Tai, for such compassion in your services. I mean, it's very evident from what Aarti said. Now I'll go to a very important person in the journey, Ujwala Waghole, who's the CEO. So, Ujwala, tell us how long you've been with Annapurna, and I understand that technology has been used, to be able to facilitate these operations so smoothly and to such depth and breadth also. So, if you can throw some light on that, I'll be very happy. Ujwala?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Joy. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ujwala Waghole. I'm working with Annapurna Pariwar for last 20 years. I joined after completing my master's in social work.
Okay.
In the last 20 years, we have always used software at the back office. I got trained under Medha Tai in using the different softwares. We have purchased new softwares from outside, and we have also got software development in-house. Since 2011, we have fifth software, which is named MicroFinance Management System. We developed this in-house. We have a team of 12 lady software engineers. Recently, we launched a new company named Purna Solution Foundation. This company is managed all by women. I have been giving domain knowledge to this team. Working closely with the software team for the last 6 to 7 years, I give them all domain knowledge from what our requirements are from the field and for the back office. And we get software specially designed to suit our needs. We have our LSOs and branch managers and our service executives who are not highly educated. they are barely 10 standards pass, but still they can use the tap. We have recently launched Annapurna, which is based on tap technology. We have engaged a company named Sahyadri, which was good at tap technology, since they produced ECG through telephone. During COVID, we have developed all these steps from groups formation to loan disbursement, which we see in our video. In recovery, printing receipts and sending SMS to the members from Annapurna tap technology. So technology is not a difficult. If you have a right team, we have a good software team, support team on tap-based technology, and we all together to give the best service to our very poor member, which is called delivery to the last mile. We also see to it that our field staff who are not highly educated can use the technology effortlessly and comfortably. I think Dr. Joy has some
Internet issues.
internet issue. Yeah. You are not audible, ma'am.
Please unmute, Dr. Joy. Yeah.
Ujwala ji, you are so good at technology, the joy of this technology has gone haywire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joy is rejoining from another
Yes. She's joining from the mobile life.
other device. Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Joy, you are not audible. You can unmute yourself. Yeah. No, there is some error.
Hi, Dr. Joy, we can't hear you. I would suggest if you're wearing headphones or earphones, remove them and then maybe we might be able to hear you again.
Joy seems to be speaking. Dr. Joy, we can't hear you.
I guess she has to disconnect from one device and join from other device.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, but you have to shut one device.
I have to shut one device. Yes.
Yeah.
Unmute.
Unmute yourself.
We are not hearing.
Dr. Joy, I would suggest that you join from your phone and disconnect from the computer. I think we can hear you from the phone.
Hello. Wait, I'll just. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Great. Yeah. So I'm really sorry about this. It was most unexpected. Yeah. So from what Ujwala has said about technology, I would love to now go to Medha Madhekar and ask her to explain how the tab-based technology has been helpful. I know that Medha, you come from the Sahyadri company, and they are experts in web-based technology. I also know that you have customized the software for Annapurna and made it, very special for Annapurna. So how did you do that? And what is that special component that you have to cater to what Annapurna needs?
Thank you, Georgie. Good evening, everybody. I am Miss Medha Madhekar, a software consultant for the Sahyadri company. We are yes. So we are very happy to develop Annapurna technology. This is a tab-based technology and which is specially created and made for Annapurna Pariwar. Because we know that Annapurna Pariwar delivers credit to the last mile, that is to the women who are very, very poor. So we took it as a challenge to keep everything very simple for the users. Our users are loan and saving officers and branch manager who are not very highly educated. So they see all the screen on the tabs in Marathi, and they should get all the data very easily. They cannot type many things. So we have given them the option to select. It was also a challenge to get all the data from MicroFinance management system, that is Annapurna Pariwar's in-house software. So the data, to get it transferred to the Annapurna server, from the server to Annapurna tabs, from Annapurna tabs to all the loans and saving officers, and to the branch managers who are in slums. So they can easily select or key in the members' information. Everything again transferred back to Annapurna to MFMS. So we have successfully developed interface between Annapurna and MFMS. MFMS is their internal software. The field staff finds it very comfortable to work on the tabs. You can take the tabs in the slums. So they can take it to where the members actually are there. They are very happy to see them happy and how the delivery reached to the last mile of the poorest of the poor women in the slums. Then all the higher levels of the staff, that is the deputy manager, the system auditors, the COO, the CEO, Medhatai, and the CMD of the various departments, they get all the reports from Annapurna and MFMS frequently, correctly, and in real time. So in the gist, Annapurna and MFMS have together created a real-time data with a paperless office, ease of working at the field level, and at the same time, comfortable data quality at the topmost level. So this was a challenge that we took, and I think we are able to do this from the slums. The data comes and it is successfully we are able to give them the loans using this.
This is a absolutely beautiful example of how the facility of having internet in urban spaces, has been harnessed by you, and how you've transited, from different systems and made it possible to reach the absolute last mile, as you said. Yeah, so Rucha, I'll request you to play the video, which is on how recovery is done on the tabs. Thank you, Rucha. May I ask you, Aditi, since you're part of the software team, how many members in your team, and how have you integrated the data from the tab into the MS system? And what is the process?
Yes, sure. Hello, all viewers. Good afternoon. Sorry, good evening. I am Aditi Limaye. I am working with Annapurna from last 6 years, and we have shifted from Annapurna to Purna E-Solution Foundation. We are a team of 12 young ladies. First of all, we feel very happy to work with Annapurna. Being a software developer, we can work anywhere else, but we are working with Annapurna and using our knowledge and expertise for the poorest people. Let me tell you first thing that our software has completed 12 years. We have developed this software especially for the Annapurna Pariwar. So it is completely customized and based on the needs of the Annapurna Pariwar. The needs, yes. The needs are based on the members, as well as the needs are based on the grassroots level workers like loan and saving officers, service executives. The CEO Medha and CMD Medha and CEO Ujwala gives us the banking knowledge of Annapurna, and also they give the knowledge about RBI guidelines and Multi-State Cooperative Society Act. So we can say that we have a fair knowledge about microfinance, and we have incorporated it in our software.
Yeah.
So we developed the first module of our MFMS software in 2011. But every 2 months, we develop the further version of this software and release that new version after every 2 months. Currently, we are working on the version 10.2. So based on the needs, we goes developing the new features. And we feel very happy that after the 12 years also, this software is efficient that enough.
Yeah.
And even in the situations like demonetization and in the situation of COVID, we modified our software according to the requirements as per the Annapurna. And we change many things in the product based on the guidelines from the RBI and Multi-State Cooperative Act. First thing that we need to develop the software as simple as it is, or the UI means it should be user friendly, so that it should be easy for the back users for encoding the data into the software, as well as the data quality is also good. So it is all about our MFMS software, which is specially developed for the Annapurna.
Yeah. Thank you, Aditi, very much. Ujwala Tai? Yeah. I just want to come back to you. One of your roles, as I had earlier said, was, how to use technology and, to take forward what Annapurna is doing. I want to now ask you, because I know you have a role in raising finance for Annapurna, because unless you have finance, how will you loan out the money? So what is your role in that, and how do you raise that finance?
Yeah. Our founder and CMD, Dr. Medha, they started Annapurna Pariwar 30 years ago with zero capital. She had been giving a personal guarantee to banks to raise the cash credit facility to lend our to poor members. When I started learning from the finance of Annapurna Pariwar some 8-10 years ago, Medha took me to all banks and introduced me to all the general managers of banks. Initially, I was feeling very shy, but slowly understood that this is not so difficult. We have two financial consultant, Ms. Sujata Bhatt, and now financial coordinator Sarika, who is with me always. So they have necessary financial data with them. We deal with banks. We appeal to the banks each time when we renew our cash credit facility to forgo Medha Tai's personal guarantee.
Yeah.
She crossed 60 years of age and she is not taking any profit to home from the day one till now. Still, the banks insist to the personal guarantee of Medha. So 5 years ago, we have launched our fixed deposit scheme for the poor people, for the people who are not our borrower. We call them social investors. This was Medhatai's idea, but all of us work together as a team. We first developed the fixed deposit scheme and recurring deposit scheme in our software. Then we design our system based on the banking system. Medhatai as well as Chitratai and few are board members of Annapurna Pariwar who are bankers or retired bankers.
Yeah.
So we studied all the schemes from various nationalized banks, cooperative banks, and we have designed a robust system. We give very good interest rate to our social investors. We explain to them that we are using your money to lend our poor borrower collateral-free loan. But since all our social investors know and love Annapurna Pariwar, so they see like transparency and democracy, also a very high interest rate of attractive rate. We have gathered more than 2,000 social investors. Half of them are senior citizens who get 0.5% more interest rate from us.
Yeah.
They feel very proud to contribute to the mission of Annapurna Pariwar to giving loans to the poor without any collateral security. I am happy to inform that during COVID, when the loan demand was less, we using our funds to repay costly loans from banks and financial institutions. This brought down our interest burden. We also purchased additional office property with our surplus reserves, and today we own a 12 stories building and own the name of Annapurna Mahila Credit Cooperative Society. We have very good reserves and surplus with the society. We all geared up to give loan to our members from our own sources. So this is about our finance.
Wonderful. So obviously it is a self-sustaining procedure that you put into place.
Yes.
I'd like to next go to KC Ranjani. Ranjani has been working in the field of microfinance for some 30-35 years. She has worked with SIDBI, Diya Vikas, and currently she is the chairperson of the Annapurna Mahila Cooperative Credit Society. Ranjani, I'd like you to throw light on what is so unique about the Annapurna Cooperative Credit Society. How is it different from other similar institutions? The very fact that it is multi-state, what value does it bring to the sector? Ranjani, please.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Joy, for your kind words of introduction. And hi, friends. I'm delighted to be participating in this webinar this evening as the chairperson of Annapurna. It's a great honor. I'm here to share with the participants few glimpses of the fascinating journey of Annapurna under the inspirational leadership of Dr. Medha, my friend. I have had the privilege of associating with Annapurna and Dr. Medha for more than 2 decades. As I myself crisscrossed the financial services sector in quest of better options to create more cutting-edge financial services to serve the BOP segment. As I work with SIDBI, the association with Annapurna was more on the microfinance front. With Diya Vikas, a social investor, it was microfinance plus. The plus being childcare services through innovative financial intermediation. With Habitat for Humanity India, the engagement shifted to exploring innovations in the space of micro housing. It's a journey yet to be undertaken. Annapurna, the organization has, as you already mentioned, a very unique nature. It is registered as a Mahila multi-state cooperative society, and I don't think there are many such institutions in India. The very form of this registration enables Annapurna to provide a bouquet of services to its members, ranging from loans, savings, pensions, pension products, and other financial services, unlike other MFIs, which are highly regulated by the Reserve Bank of India. Incidentally, I would just like to share with you an anecdote. While I was I was serving with the Vikas, which is a social investment firm. I tried my level best to convince Dr. Medha to shift to the NBFC mode of non-banking finance company mode of operations, so that it can grow very fast. You know, the growth is very fast. You can reach a lot of people, and I really tried my very best. But but I discovered that Medha is a very committed cooperative person who believes in inclusive growth. So even if it is a slower pace of outreach, it is more inclusive, and stakeholder wealth is created in all the chains of that, all the stakeholders, the entire chain of stakeholders. So that is it's an anecdote which I like to share, and to show that there is still commitment, and people are not always lured by profits.
Yeah.
It's not that profit is wrong. I don't believe that, but it's how you view it.
Yes.
So Annapurna, as its very nature, by its very nature, can receive, as I already mentioned, it can receive and collect deposits from a cross section of society. And as already explained by Ujwala, the CEO, she's already very explained in detail about this whole process. So I find that this process of taking loans from the larger community and channelizing to the target community, which is low-income households in the slums of Pune and Mumbai, it creates a very win-win ecosystem for the depositors as well as for borrowers. Also for Annapurna, it provides long-term sustainability and stability in terms of steady flow of cost-effective funds, without getting into the hassle of personal guarantees and other such requirements, which any of the bankers have to adhere to. They do not have such flexibility. So this is a very, I find, for me, it has been very heartwarming to see that there are Indians, more than 2,000 social investors, and I'm sure there are thousands and thousands more out there who would like to be a part of a growing story like this, so that they know that their money is just going to serve another family, and to be directly be participating in that growth empowerment story. So that this is a story that should be highlighted. There are risks involved, but those risks are worth mitigating. There are enough risk mitigation processes that we can look into to reduce the risk.
Right.
So if I can take just 1 or 2 minutes more.
Please. Yes, please.
I would also point out that Annapurna, being a multi-state cooperative society, it can share its the profits earned by Annapurna gets distributed to its members, who are also their borrowers. And so the profit is not taken away by international investors or private promoters.
Right.
So this is again one more fascinating aspect of the Annapurna story. All members are encouraged to save and avail innovative products such as pensions, insurance, and so on. You must have seen the case studies already presented.
Yes.
Another aspect that I would like to compliment Dr. Medha and Annapurna in its journey is creation of a dedicated cadre of women staff to handhold the women members, to help them process with sensitivity and care the difficult environments of the slums of Pune and Mumbai. I used to earlier have such a fear about the slums of Pune and Mumbai. You hear such, you see movies and all, and you get that feeling that it's some dangerous place to be. But it is not. It is like when you meet those clients and when we meet the staff, they are as humans. I mean, they're so loving and they are really entrepreneurs like any, or mothers and hardworking women like any of us.
Right.
And the way the staff handle and reach out to them, it's very, very, very touching. And I want to compliment the leadership, and I'm happy to be a part of it, even though for a short while, officially, but unofficially, I've always been a part of Annapurna family. From the very basic small ticket microfinance loans, the so-called vanilla loans, we call them in the microfinance sector, to the bigger enterprise loans that help women micro entrepreneurs to grow their businesses. It is whether it is in production or in services sector, Annapurna has always been very innovative. Annapurna stands with its members throughout their life cycle needs with suitable bouquet of services to match their life cycle needs of financial services. So Annapurna is basically, as I already mentioned, owned by the members, and their growth is Annapurna's growth. Their growth is not being exploited by the institution. Their growth is equal to Annapurna's growth. And in that sense, it's a real women's empowerment initiative. This is what I would like to share with the participants today.
Thank you, Ranjani. That is so well articulated. You have brought out, all the very, very special aspects of the Annapurna journey. Ujwala Tai, I want to come back to you with one kind of a final question to you. From what Ranjani said, it requires a very high level of credibility for Annapurna. So what is your role in the rating systems? Because all microfinance institutions are rated and their credibility rests on that. Adherence to the RBI guidelines and all that. And I understand that you look after that aspect. So could you just, throw light on that part?
I started learning about the rating agencies and their norms with Medha Tai and our financial consultant Sujata Tai 7-8 years ago. Initially, it was a bit tough for me, but now I can handle it very smoothly. We get good rating grades as well as good code of conduct audit grades. Because of our work is good, we have to only show them our field activities with proper perspective and explain them properly. The rating agencies have very set norms. They are mostly inexperienced young people and financial graduates. RBI particularly has set up a system of rating mostly suitable to NBFCs and MFs. According to them, try to fix us the baskets, which is the same as NBFC and small banks. So we have to explain them how different we are.
Yeah.
A multi-state cooperative society, our goal is not to earn profit from our members, but to empower our members who are very, very poor enterprising women. We have to tell them how we build leaders from women. Our community representatives are elected women and they participate in most of the decisions in Annapurna. So we have explained to most of them how we share our profits by way of giving crores in rupees in the dividend on share capital. All the data is kept in our MFMS software that we can explain easily. So I think I can handle it comfortably now. Of course, I have a team of people working with me from the field to financial coordinator. We, of course, adhere all the multi-state cooperative acts. This MSCS Act is not very conducive to microfinance operations. But the combination of our bylaws and the multi-state act is useful for our operations.
Right.
So this is again our rating. Thank you.
Thank you, Ujwala.
Yeah.
Medha Tai, I'm coming back to you.
Yes.
I really want to know more about your dream product, Annapurna, the pension scheme that you have, because it completely ties up with what I've always said is empowerment. The ability to make a person think that there is a future. And then to see that future, it is very enabling. It brings hope. It brings life to somebody who thinks that, however hard I work, what's going to come out of it? So please, can you, tell us about the Annapurna?
Yes. Thanks, Joy. That's my favorite project and my favorite question. Because pension is a dream product for all my members. As all of you must have known, the viewers as well as the anchor and organizers, that all our products are need-based. Whatever the women have expressed, members have expressed, we have tried to design that into a product. So pension was always very close to the heart of many of my old members. They used to say, Tai, what do we have? we have to depend, we work so hard, but all the money is spent at home. We have to give the money for to husbands, sons, and then at the old age again we have to look at the somebody for feeding us. So they could see that they have no future. And I always thought that we must do something about this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, of course, we have a fully blown social security program, like health insurance in the form of health mutual fund. We have life insurance, family insurance, and asset insurance, fully blown social security program. But pension is the biggest feather in the cap of a social security program. And I thank our actuary friends who are with me for last 20 years and who have backed up all our products, our social security products, by designing, by evaluating, by modifying. That's why we could do this. So we are going to talk more about in the next webinar about the micro insurance. But coming back to the micro pension again, thanks to the actuaries who helped me design the program. Initially, in 2012, we had a number of members who wanted to get enrolled in the pension program, and Government of India announced this Swavalamban pension program, which came under the PFRDA. And I was so happy. I spoke to all the team, inspired everyone that we must participate in this. It was the first government program that we liked and we could participate. But after we enrolled almost 15,000 women in that Swavalamban, we were paying every month, collecting 100 rupees from our members, paying 1,000 rupees each year to a PFRDA. But they changed the scheme so differently after 2014. And in 2015, it was almost impossible to implement that Swavalamban scheme. So then we designed but by then already our women, our members were in deep waters. We had then we are assuring them of getting pension. So still our 2.5 crores rupees are stuck with Swavalamban PFRDA. And we are each year getting few claims as members die or something. But still a huge amount stuck there. But then after 2015, we said we again sat within the team, we worked with our actuaries, and we decided no, nothing big. We'll design our own program. And then we had this one full year of excitement in designing the program, as well as anxiety whether people, our members, will join our program after joining government's Swavalamban program. But barring one or two members, all the members willingly shifted from Swavalamban to Annapurna's Aadhar Purna program. They have named each product, each service which ends with Purna, because Purna is an empowered woman and which is the dream. The dream of Annapurna Pariwar is an empowered woman in a happy family. So then Aadhar Purna was named, Aadhar Purna was designed, one full year of exciting and anxious journey. And then all the members shifted to from Swavalamban to Aadhar Purna. They are paying in almost 34,000 members who are less than our borrowers, who are more than our borrowers. Borrowers are slightly less than 34,000. They'll pick up, but it was dropped down during COVID. 34,000 women, because they have a dream to get a pension, they are paying into this Aadhar Purna program since 2016, since last 7 years. And we have gathered almost 22 crores of rupees in the pension fund. And we have already started giving Aadhar Purna pension to, I think, 5 or 6 successful members who are our pensioners. They feel very proud to call themselves pensioners. And many more will come in the future years. So this is the pension story. So I'm when we gave first pension to our first member, I felt so excited and happy, and I said, this made my day. And the way they speak, I think you'll see a video. The way they express happiness. Nothing is coming.
We'd love to see the video. We'd love to see the video. Rucha, can you just show the video?
शांता सांबरेताई, तुम्ही अन्नपूर्णा परिवाराच्या 14 वर्षापासून मेंबर आहात, बरोबर ना?
हो, 14 वर्षापासून अन्नपूर्णाची मेंबर आहे.
तुम्ही अन्नपूर्णाचं पहिलं कर्ज 2009 साली घेतलं. तेव्हा काय कामधंदा करत होतात?
अन्नपूर्णाचं कर्ज 2009 मध्ये घेतले. त्या वेळेला धुणे भांड्याची कामं करत होते.
तुम्ही नुकत्याच आधारपूर्णा या पेन्शन प्रोग्राम मधून पेन्शन घेऊ लागलेले आहात. तर तुम्ही किती वर्ष आधारपूर्णाची वर्गणी भरत होतात आणि आता तुम्हाला पेन्शन किती मिळते?
2016 पासून मी 500 रुपये वर्गणी भरत होते. अशी मी आधारपूर्णाची वर्गणी 7 वर्ष भरली. आता 1623 रुपये मला 3 महिन्यांनी मिळतात. मला पेन्शन मिळाल्याचा खूप आनंद झाला, कारण माझ्या हातामध्ये 4 पैसे आले. त्यामुळे मी स्वखर्चाने वाटेल ते घेऊ शकते, कोणालाही देऊ शकते, नातवांना खाऊ घेऊ शकते.
आता तुमच्या जागेवर तुमच्या सुनेला अन्नपूर्णात सभासद करून घेतलेला आहे. त्या काय व्यवसाय करतात?
ती ब्युटी पार्लरचा व्यवसाय करते.
सुनेला आता 2 लाखाचे कर्ज मिळेल ना?
हो
ह्या कर्जातून तुम्ही घर बांधणार आहात ना?
हो, आम्ही घर बांधणार आहे. आमची फॅमिली मोठी आहे, 2 सुना, 2 मुलं, 2 नातवंड. त्यामुळे आम्ही सगळे एकत्र राहणार आहोत. म्हणून हे घर डबल करून आम्ही इथं राहणार आहे.
घरात पार्लर काढणार ना?
नाही, आम्ही घरात पार्लर काढणार नाही, कारण आता तिचं पार्लर मोक्याच्या ठिकाणी आहे. त्यामुळे आम्ही आता इथं घर बांधून एकत्र कुटुंब राहण्याचा प्लॅन आहे.
तुम्ही तर अन्नपूर्णाची चालती बोलती यशोगाथाच आहात.
Medhatai, have you thought of replicating Annapurna?
Yes,
Want to
of
go
course.
forward? What are your plans?
We started our franchisee program right since the year 2000. I was thinking that if we have I always thought that we have a good model which is need-based, which has designed a need-based program for all the slum women. We have converted their, into happy families, and we could change their lifestyle. So why not in other places? But I always understood that we have our own limitations. Our model is, it is a pakka urban base. So Pune, Mumbai, big cities, we can replicate. But we have no, resources or ambitions to spread across India, though we have a multi-state cooperative. Because there are, if you look at the insurance model next month, it is very comprehensive model. So we can't just, copy paste.
Yeah.
But we thought that at least we can handhold to other MFIs, other small NGOs who are doing good job. We can show them the way. So initially in 2000, I became the nodal officer of Rashtriya Mahila Kosh. Rashtriya Mahila Kosh is a government agency based in Delhi, and they had this nodal agency scheme. So we attended a very wonderful training in Delhi, and they gave us licenses and resources to organize trainings in Maharashtra. Of course, I was for Maharashtra. We organized trainings to small NGOs, MFIs, and I have proposals with RMT. But it is, I must say, red tapeism and slow implementation. So nothing could happen. So then in a way, I felt deceived that we are, in fact, we are teaching, coaching, and promising something to small organizations who are looking forward to us with hope, and then we are practically giving them nothing. So then I was trying to find other resources. Then there was a government of UK government DFID project. In fact, DFID had this poorest area civil society program. Under that, they requested me to become a consultant for Marathwada. Then in Marathwada, I could help 3 or 4 NGOs who were small. I taught them our model and did some handholding, distributed funds to them, and they came up with. But they had this Bachat Gat model, self-help group, because they were mostly in rural area.
Yeah.
But some of them also implemented our insurance program. After that, I got a little, confidence that we can do that. So then in 2007-8, then we got more funds, a bigger cash credit facility from Indian Overseas Bank. We took up one after the other 5 or 6 smaller organizations in Mofusil areas, in small townships like Beed, Ichalkaranji, Kolhapur, and Usmanabad. And we gave them funds as well as the systems, as well as software. We had regular audits with them. We had regular meetings with them. One is in Mawar, near in between Pune and Mumbai. And I feel very happy that most of them are doing well. Of course, they have deviated from our system. Not exactly they are copy pasting the system. But some way or the other, they have created their own impact. They have all converted into cooperative credit society.
Oh, wonderful.
We help them do that. And we have a pool of franchisee organizations. We meet every 2 months. We share good bad practices. We share data. And most of them do not need our funds anymore.
Right.
They are self-sufficient already.
Self-sufficient.
So that's the replication model we tried. And maybe in future, after the situation, back to hadsas like demonetization and COVID. Get stabilized, and then maybe we can add more franchises or help more people.
Right. Wonderful. Medha Tayi, I know that you have a dream product up your sleeve. So would you like telling us about it?
Yes, that's housing. Because again, all the women on earth, they want a house in their name. They really want, they don't express, a house in their name and some money in their old age, that is pension. They won't even dare call it pension. Now our Annapurna women are saying, I get pension. But before, women do not mention pension, and also they cannot demand in their husband's family that I want a house in my own name. And that's how they are, women are creating so much assets, so much worth in this world, but they are assetless. So house is a dream of a woman, and that is my, I think my last product. After that, my CEO, COO and other young team will take it ahead, because I'll soon have crossed 63. But before I retire from this seat, I want to roll on this housing loan product. And I know Ranjani and all my board members who are ex-bankers, social activists, they all love this idea. And we are working towards that. And already we have launched our first housing loan product this month. Aarti will be dispersing on 29th 10 or 15 housing loans, which will be higher in amount. We were always giving house repair loans which are up to 2 lakhs, And in their slums, they were repairing their own houses, making it a little better space. When their eldest daughter comes of age, they want to build a toilet inside the house. When they are marrying their son, they want to build a small bedroom in the house. These are common requirements of poor people. So they were always doing that. We were supporting that. We have a house repairs loan always. But now we are giving house construction loans. They can demolish a house and they can rebuild the house. And one in Mumbai, Turba, and say 10 in Pune, different slums. Aarti has screened and all the proposals are ready for disbursement. We have a team of architects who are visiting. Glad to share that with Kirti Bhai. And we have a team of architects in Pune and Mumbai, young boys who are going visiting the houses, who are giving their advice free of cost just now. We have a small team of legal advisors who are checking the papers, and we know the people do not have land ownership. They do not have the land ownership. They won't get the government subsidy. But they don't care, our members, and we don't care, because we know they will build a beautiful house. We are in fact encouraging the joint liability group of 5 women to demolish at a time and build 5 houses in a cluster. So that will be a cluster approach. Cluster approach, and they can build houses together. So they can share a wall, they can share a common space, which can be utilized for common activity or a chat. Or
the community building,
And I know Kirti Bhai has been a town planner and architect, and he has been a founder of organization called ASAG in Ahmedabad. And I have seen that many years ago how they have built the cluster houses. And that was, I always carried that dream in my mind that in Pune and Mumbai slums, we will have this cluster development approach.
Yeah.
Every community will become beautiful, cluster by cluster. Every group will say, okay, oh my God, those 5 women have constructed nice houses. Why can't we build? Everyone will build. And we are putting a small condition there for the husbands. You please add her name in the documents. Please add, we will reduce the interest rate by a small percent if you add your wife's name. So that way the women will have the asset, the slums will be beautiful, and it will be a nice life for all of us who are educated, who are middle class, because our housemates come from the same slums. From the same slums. And we will have people coming, our maids coming from nice houses, and not filthy places.
Yes.
So I think we are walking towards that dream today. It's a very small step this month, but maybe next year we will tell you a good housing story.
Yeah. Wonderful. You mentioned a video. Can we see that?
Yes. Richa.
तुम्ही अन्नपूर्णात किती सालापासून आहात आणि तुम्ही पहिले कर्ज किती हजाराचे घेतले?
मी आशावी शेख बोलतीये. 1993 साली 1,000चं कर्ज मेधाताईच्या हातातून घेतली.
म्हणजे तुम्ही जवळजवळ 30 वर्षापासून अन्नपूर्णा सोबत आहात. तर आता मला सांगा, पहिलं कर्ज तुम्ही काय कारणासाठी घेतलं आणि त्याचा वापर कसा केला?
पहिलं कर्ज 1,000चा फ्रूट साठी मी घेतली आणि त्याचा वापर टोपली घेतली, बाकडे घेतले, तो व्यवसाय वाढवला.
एकूण किती कर्ज अन्नपूर्णातून घेतली व त्याचा उपयोग तुम्ही कसा केला?
एकूण 9 कर्ज घेतले. पहिला कर्ज 1,000चा फ्रूट साठी वापरला. दुसरं कर्ज 2,000चा फ्रूट पण वाढवले, टोपल्या पण वाढवले, टेबल पण वाढवले, त्याचे व्यवसायासाठी मी वापर केले. तिसरं कर्ज 3,000चं मुलांच्या शिक्षणासाठी पैसे वापर केले.
पौर फाटा फ्लायओव्हर मुळे तेथील घर गेलं, दुकान गेलं, त्यानंतर केळेवाडीत तुम्ही राहायला आलात, त्यानंतर पुन्हा गट करून पुन्हा कर्ज घेतलं ना?
हो, पुन्हा कर्ज घेतलं. दुकान आणि घर दोन्ही गेलं. त्याच्यानंतर मग केलवाडीत आले. केलवाडीत आल्यानंतर मग ते मी व्यवसाय केले. मी रबर कटिंग केली आणि खडूला जिलेटिंग लावली, खोड रबरला जिलेटिंग लावली. ते जॉब करत होती मी, त्याच्यासाठी मी ते पैसे वापरले 5,000. पुढचा 7,000चं कर्ज घरी बसून जे जॉब करत होती त्याच्यासाठी मी वापरले. पुढचा कर्ज 10,000चं घेतली. माझे मिस्टरांची रिक्षा घेण्यासाठी थोडीफार मदत केली. 15,000चं कर्ज घेतली. ते मी माझे घराचे पत्रे चेंज करायचे होते, त्याच्यात मी पैसे ते वापर केले. 20,000चं कर्ज मुलाच्या शिक्षणासाठी घेतलं. आता मी 1,00,000चं कर्ज पुढचं घर वाढवण्यासाठी घेतलं.
अन्नपूर्णाच्या इतर सेवा आहेत, यापैकी तुम्हाला कुठल्या सेवेतून मदत मिळाली?
माझे मिस्टरांचे थायरॉइडचं ऑपरेशन झालं, त्या टायमाला मला क्लेम मिळालं. दोन्ही मुलींचे डिलिव्हरीसाठी क्लेम मिळालं.
2014 ते 2022 अशी 8 वर्ष अन्नपूर्णातून कर्ज घेतले नव्हते, तरीही तुमची बचत व आधारपूर्णाची वर्गणी तुम्ही भरत होता.
हो, जवळजवळ 7 वर्षापासून होते.
तेच पुन्हा कर्ज घेऊन घर वाढवले, बरोबर ना?
बरोबर. माझे मुलाचं लग्न ठरलं, मला थोडीफार गरज वाटली, त्याच्यामुळं मी माझे वरचे खोली रूमसाठी 1,00,000चं कर्ज ताईकडून मी घेतले. 1,000पासून 1,00,000पर्यंत फळांचं व्यवसायापासून घर बांधण्यापर्यंत मला अन्नपूर्णाची मदत झाली.
Wonderful. We've kind of, reached the limit that we had. We had 2 hours and we've almost reached 2 hours. Ujwala Krishnan, I will request if there are any questions which have come from the audience, if you can share them with Medha Tai, because I'm now operating from my phone, so it'll be a little difficult for me to do that. Are there any questions from the audience?
Yes, there are a few questions. Maybe I'll address them directly to Medha Tai.
Yes, that will be
so Medha Tai,
great.
the first Yes. Meera, the first question is from Suchita ji. They have said, did you come across any opposition from the informal money lenders in the beginning?
Yes, this is my favorite question. Yesterday, somebody asked me in some other program, and as I always say, when I did not know the answers, I looked up to my women, my members. So initially in 93, 94, I was going to Paudpata vegetable market every day. And after that, for the first 10 years, I was in the slums. I was very young and had a young son. So some family members told me that you are taking a direct head-on with the money lenders, whether they will try to follow you or something. And I realized that there was someone following me, or they were pushing me in the market. So every Saturday we used to have gunny bag meetings with my members in the market. So I told my members, Shravanta Bhai, Lakshmi Bhai, I said, I feel, not personally me, but my family members feel scared about money lenders. So they said, okay, like that. Okay, we'll think about that. Then they discussed something. They never told me what they discussed. And then for a month or two, suddenly money lenders, they said, Tai, you don't come to market. We will meet you in our homes. So for my collection, I went to their houses. They gathered in one place. But in the market, suddenly money lenders started coming again. For a month or two, there was a lot of activity with the money lenders. And then very laughingly, my members told me after 2 months, you know what trick we played? I said, what? So they said, we all borrowed from the money lenders, but 1,000 rupees each. So we knew that we did not want that money. And then we decided that every day, 4-5 members will default. Today, these 3-4 women say, we don't have dhanda, we can't pay. Then tomorrow, those 2-3 will say. So every day, he used to, poor guy, run after them. And he got so tired, and he thought that these are bad customers. So he gave up on them. So this was the trick they played. And thanks to them, I got no opposition after that. And I would have not thought of it any time in my dreams.
Wonderful, absolutely amazing.
They proved themselves bad customers, bad borrowers.
That is very clever.
And I would say only that you make them feel it's your program, and then they protect every bit of it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, can we have the second one, Ujwala?
Yes, sure. There is an anonymous attendee who's posted a question. They've asked, in your experience, how has the concept of microfinance for the empowerment of poor women, the micro health insurance scheme included, been replicated across India and in other developing countries and contexts globally?
Ujwala Krishna, I'm not clear whether the person is asking about replication of micro insurance or microfinance.
They're asking about the concept of microfinance for the empowerment of poor women, but they've in brackets put the micro health insurance scheme included, and how that has been
Micro health
replicated.
insurance scheme in that last word?
Including the micro health insurance scheme.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to answer that. Microfinance concept had spread like wildfire during 2005 and 2010. But unfortunately, it was for-profit microfinance.
Yeah.
The RBI introduced the model of non-bank finance corporation, these are organizations highly controlled by RBI, but these organizations have to be perpetually dependent on investors' funds and bank borrowings. They cannot collect savings from members. That's why I never liked this NBFC model. So through this NBFC model, microfinance spread all across the country. The positive side of it is that we have more than 200 MFIs practicing in all across India, and that's how the funds, the credit has reached out to the poor people. That's a good part of it. Even the prices, the interest rates have come down from those old days of private money lenders, from 10 to 5% to and now it is, since last few years, RBI has regulated the interest rates also below 25%. So now the market has played its role. But unfortunately, they are not working for empowerment. Most of the NBFCs are working for their profit. The profits are going to the directors, investors, and top people. That's the bad part of it. There is also, I must mention, there is a apex body called Sadhan, which is all MFIs membership organization. Padma Bhushan Ilaben Bhatt has set that up, and I am on the governing body since last 4 years of Sadhan. So we see all over India, microfinance has spread, it's growing, but it's not for profit. Now let me come back to Annapurna is a rare model, unique model. One of the very few 10 or 15 organizations like Seva, Ahmedabad, or a few cooperatives, which are working for empowerment and not for their own profit. These are very unique still, even after 25 years of microfinance. Even the bad side of competition between different NBFC MFIs, we have seen the collapse in Andhra Pradesh in 2010, where so many farmers' suicide took place because of over indebtedness. After that, RBI has taken control, a lot of regulatory measures have taken place. So microfinance is spread like this way. Micro insurance still is very, very rare. I feel very happy and proud of my members who who showed me the way of micro insurance, and thankful to our actuaries who helped me design our own micro insurance product 20 years ago. And we don't have only health, but life, family, and asset insurance. And next webinar, we'll be talking more about that. Our actuaries will be also with us as panelists. But none of the big MFIs have started their own. They are doing 20,000, 40,000 crores of business, MFI industry. Now there are small finance banks also, apart from NBFC. None of them are doing their own insurance, whereas they are capable of. Micro insurance is profitable too. I'm telling from our own experience. When you have your own micro insurance, you have a zero rejection or very low rejection. Most of the MFIs are tying up with commercial insurance companies as of now. Till 2005, nobody was talking about micro insurance in India. Till 2003, they started, IRDA started talking about micro insurance. After 2005, some Bajaj Alliance, some private companies introduced their own micro insurance. Micro insurance side. There one, wing or one branch. And most of the big MFIs, microfinance institutions, are tying up with those micro insurance commercial companies, and there is a very huge rejection rate. Micro life insurance also tie up with companies where the microfinance institution gets their money back in case of death of a borrower, but the borrower's family doesn't get any help. Whereas in Annapurna's micro insurance model, it's people-based model. People get the help. It's not only about our safety, our security, but it's social security of the borrower. So I think I have answered the question like this.
Yeah. Ujwala, any more question?
Thank you, Medha. Yes, there's one last question from Komal Rana. They've asked, will the franchisee model be only with the current NGO MFIs or even to those who would like to start afresh?
That's a good question. We implemented this model for more than 16 years. We took a little break, adding new MFI partners during COVID and just before that during demonetization, because our own financial situation was little volatile and we were facing many difficulties. We had to also do a lot of changes in the system, help our own members. We almost finished all our reserves in our credit society as well as our insurance wing. So that's why we have halted. But I won't say that will be forever. Maybe a few years from now, once our housing loans are rolled on and we settle down, we may add new franchises which may be startups. just now a break from that, because we are not in a situation to help others. We have to first look after ourselves and, strengthen our financial situation.
Yeah, thank you, Medha Tai. I have run out of words because what I heard, I knew about Annapurna Pariwar, but what I heard today is literally mind blowing. And thank you so much, not just for this webinar, but for all the work that you and your team have put in for so many years. It is such tireless work. It is such devoted work, and it is so sincere. And really, hats off to you. So will we be finishing the webinar with a few words from Kirti Bhai?
Yes, madam. I knew that this is going to be good. Believe me, I never thought it would be so good. It's amazing.
Yes, I agree.
and it's amazing because all of you, I'm the only man here, powerful woman, brought a tremendous amount of ideas, believe me, and therefore, thank you, Aditi ji, thank you, Aarti ji, thank you, Ranjani ji, thank you, Medha ji, thank you, Ujwala ji, thank you, Deshmukh ji, thank you, Medha ji. This is one absolutely stunning 2 hours of riveting listening. I have a large number of things that I wanted to talk about, but I think it's getting very late. But there are 3 things I want to mention very clearly. One is the whole issue, Joyji, that you raised about scaling up and replication. And Medhaji answered, I thought, a bit in a deceiving kind of a fashion. If I understand correctly, this model has to replicate, this model has to kind of scale up. The reason is you thought about every conceivable thing that you can think about. Starting from delivery system on the ground, starting from technology, starting from financing, rotating money, just about everything that one could think about.
Yeah.
You thought through. And therefore, if Dr. Medhaji says, no, and I think we have an example. We had an example of not far away in Bangladesh of Grameen Bank, and how far did it go? And I'm not worried about its failure. I'm not worried about its problem. What I'm talking about is the need our society has.
Yeah.
Large number, we're working on slums, and you imagine you're talking about large number of people in slums. And you're not talking about a lot of people in slums, you're talking about the entire informal sector and reaching out to the needs. And you have created some incredible systems. Everyone needs to know about it. And Dr. Medha, I'm going to kind of suggest, Joyji, to you. You remember when they have to elect a pope, they have the system. They put the entire congregation in a room and they lock it up until they have come to an understanding into who the pope will be.
Yeah.
And at that time, little white smoke comes out and then door opens. I suggest we lock up Medhaji in a room until she agrees that we will replicate and we will scale up this experiment. That is.
Am
I part of the we, Kirti Bhai? Because I'm a friend of hers, so I want to protect her also.
But I request you not to lock me up.
No, there are other.
I will be in the room with you to make sure you're okay.
We can inspire through INHAF platform enough number of people who can start up.
No, I just wanted to come to that, and that is this.
Yeah. So
I know, Medhaji, you were trying to work out with Sharad Mahajan and with Mashal a program to do housing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sharda is no longer in this world.
Our common friend. Yeah.
You talked about retiring, that, one of your last schemes. You are just in your 60s. I'm in my 80s. And I'm not going to retire ever. But I'm going to suggest today that Mashal, INHAF, and you people and Annapurna get into a new partnership and we develop housing.
Yes.
Believe me, some of the most innovative thinking on this earth on housing we have done.
I know.
And we've done it for 50 years. And therefore, I think, joining hands and energy with you to fulfill this dream, which is not only a dream, the dream of every woman, as you rightly said, we got to go very far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just going to send tonight 2 letters I've written to the Prime Minister, to the Finance Minister, in terms of what to do with slums. And I'm saying slum problem is solvable.
Yes,
it's
sir.
possible to provide people housing at a level and at a cost which is affordable to people, affordable to the subsidizing state, affordable to city, affordable to the system. It's doable. We are not doing it. So I'm going to kind of send you some, and Joyji, I also have your email address. I'll send you copies.
Thank you.
It is full of ideas in terms of what to do and how to do it.
Yes.
And I think we've got to kind of take this partnership further. This is a very private thought that I'm talking about. This is a much larger systemic thing that we've got to be doing. The reason, you see, I've known Dr. Yunus personally very well. And I have been to Bangladesh about 15, 20 times in the last 30 years. And I personally feel with what has happened there, the whole idea has got a bad name. And you're doing it so well that you've got to kind of reestablish that name. And we could do, and I consider that to be a responsibility that you have. And I think we could talk about this in terms of when and how.
Yes, yes.
We could talk about interest rates. We talked about, I think, how to recover money. We're going to talk about how to operate in urban areas, because I remember Dr. Yunus used to say that, he cannot operate in urban areas because the kind of, communities which were there in the villages don't exist. And this is what you talked about as well. And you have crossed that particular border very well. And if you look at the need, every single family of the poor deserves this assistance and this service, which remains expanding, scaling up, doing much more. And I think we should talk about this in coming days and months. And thank you very much for this absolutely inspiring and, as you rightly said, mind-blowing session. And thank you very much, because you all powerful women talking about powerful ideas. And as a matter of fact, you won't believe me, but while I was listening to, there's so many ideas that came to my mind in terms of how to use your technology team. There are a few things that I want to get done, and I'm going to kind of approach you at some point of time in terms of how to do it. So thank you very much again. I just couldn't thank you more. This is one of the best webinar we have had out of 86, and I'm saying this not because I want to please you, but I'm really convinced it is that way. In terms of information it provided, analysis that it brought in terms of innovation that it talked about, and potential that it has shown. That's very
Thank
important.
you so much.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure being here on this platform, and we will be here next month soon. So bye to all viewers. Thanks to the organizers in INHAF, to our anchor Joy, and to all my colleagues, including Ranjani, who is joining from Kochi.
Yeah. Okay, and I think before I forget, I must thank, and I can never thank my colleague Ujwala enough. She is an incredibly bright girl. I don't call it woman, I call her girl. And she puts everything right. And with her energy, I've come to realize that, if Ujwala is around, I have got not to say no to anything.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and thank you, Ujwala, and thank you all. Yeah. And we'll get together again, and I'll write and share with you some ideas into how do we take this further as well. And we will look forward to hearing the second important one. Microfinance, we know little about. Micro insurance, no one knows anything about.
And I promise
therefore, that session will be, I think, much better, much to learn from. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you all
for
attending. Thank you.